Alright, firstkiller says he's ready. Let me just get us started here. Best of 5, firstkiller versus Satthew. Oh, I'm trying to say BO5 by the way. And I've got to turn on my party chat. There we go. So we're all set. All ready. Firstkiller looking to bounce back from a downward spiral, if that makes sense. I don't know if you can bounce up a spiral, in or up in a spiral. You probably can. We're going to go with that. But yeah, he's lost 6 series in a row. He's lost 6 series in a row on stream. He's not been having a good run. And although a lot of those series, a lot of those games have been very, very close, some people might say that he should have maybe won 1 or 2 of them, and he threw them away. But regardless of any of those facts, the story we got here is firstkiller. He's looking for redemption. He's lost 6 series in a row against some of the world's best players, and then, of course, some players who are looking to make a name for themselves and just playing like the world's best on that day. Of course, that's all that matters in 1v1. That's all that matters in any competition, is who shows up on the day. Doesn't matter if you've got the higher position on the leaderboard. If you don't show up on the day, you're going to lose. And today we do have 2 very high-rated players. Satthew needs no introduction at this point. You guys should all be fairly aware of who he is and what he likes to do, and that is reverse 45-degree flicks. And he's pretty good at them, and he continues to find success with that strategy. Firstkiller giving him a lot of space, which is his defensive preference. You know, shadowing, fake challenges, backing away, trying to save reactively. Almost got that one, but with Sathew's flicks being so good, I really think firstkiller is going to have to step out of his comfort zone, play a little bit more aggressive, or he might just concede the vast majority of times that Satthew's attacking him. Meanwhile, at the other end of the field, we're going to be taking a close look at, you know, firstkiller's flick game, because he's bringing it more and more. The more he plays on my stream, the more flicks he does. You know, first time that he came on stream, he was just going for pretty much all shots, power shots, and more power shots, and it was working pretty well because he's really good at those. But I'm expecting to see more of a flick game today. Can he reach this one? Yes, he can. That's an equalizer. Satthew getting punished for a bit of an overextension. And counter-attacking style is going to be, I'm sure, the main strategy for firstkiller. I'm expecting most of the possession and most of the territory to be, or most of the game to be played in firstkiller's side of the field. So no surprise if he backs off a fair bit, and then maybe later on in the series starts to rush some challenges if his strategy just isn't holding up well enough. It's interesting to note that Satthew's kickoff, up until now, that was the first kickoff that he won, I believe, at least a significant victory. He has been dominating kickoffs in other matchups on stream, particularly in the 12 Titans qualifier, but also versus Jacob, he was able to get some pretty consistent kickoff wins with the early dodge. He dodges very early when he's looking to impact the ball, a lot earlier than most other players. Oh, almost a beautiful own goal by Satthew. He's completely boost starved at the moment.
Champ status. Now, if I could only make Grand Champ in Rocket League.
No,
love you, Johnny.
Not a Grand Champ yet, my man. Conrad Allen, 15 months. I believe that's a champ. Yeah, champ logo. But one day, maybe. The 24-month will be a Grand Champ symbol, so maybe one day. I appreciate the 15 months, so you're far too kind. We have still got a lead for Satthew. We're back into the same position the firstkiller failed to score from a moment ago. He's got the boost starve. He's just popping the ball repeatedly at the crossbar, trying to get Satthew to overcommit, and Satthew actually can't even commit. He's got 0 boost, literally 0. Oh, he missed the 12. That might have been the difference between saving and conceding here. If he had just flipped onto that 12 boost pad, he would have no doubt been able to contest that aerial. Smart play by firstkiller, though. He identified that Satthew may indeed be completely boost starved. Good half flip by firstkiller. Still in a bit of trouble though, because now he finds himself out of boost in the back corner. Satthew heard him flip away. That's really smart. Satthew playing off that sound cue. Here's firstkiller flip away, and he knows he's got enough time to go and turn around and make a play on the ball after it bounces. He didn't need to fake jump or anything. Didn't make the smartest play though. That was a self-set attempt to the backboard. I don't think he hit it high enough to justify flying after it. Firstkiller is exceptionally quick at getting up in the air around his goal. That is about the most dead the ball can be on a kickoff in 1v1. Firstkiller squeezing his way back in here. This is, although I think Satthew might be the favourite, just purely based on the fact that he's had better results more recently on my stream than firstkiller has, and also because I think if Satthew can get his nose in front, or if he can, you know, start to swing momentum heavily in his favor, I don't see firstkiller coming back. He's had such a hard time getting, you know, comebacks on my stream. He's always the one who's ahead and then letting people back in, and it's things like this, just overcommitting to aerial plays off sidewalls, off ceilings, that allows that to happen. But we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be a recurring feature throughout the series. It's a decent recovery from firstkiller. Doesn't go for the corner boost, and that flick from Satthew is going to be over the net. Now the corner boost is secured first. Fake challenge doesn't actually bait out Satthew. And again, Sathew's flicks have not been too good today. This is something I said to look out for earlier on in the game. I said flick game, Satthew. I mean, you all know how good he can be if he's playing well in the flick department. But today they've looked relatively underwhelming. I'm not going to lie, they've looked relatively underwhelming. He has another chance though, and the fake challenge from firstkiller, again ineffective. The flick this time, although slow, is going to cross the line. Firstkiller did not expect the flick to be that slow, no doubt, despite the fact that Satthew has been flicking the ball with less consistency than he usually does. I'm sure firstkiller had full respect for his opponent in that situation. And that shot is again too slow, but firstkiller has to jump for it. Of course, he would like to be able to control that ball. That's a great power shot by First. He's not able to go into the corner to deny the boost, but he might be able to pressure Satthew off it. Instead, slow plays it. He's got a backflip shot opening, and there it is. Very close game one. Very, very tentative game one from both players. So many fake challenges not working. I think the first player in this match who just rushes straight in for a challenge is going to score because of it, because these guys are just going for so many fake challenges, and everybody's the other player is seeing it coming. They're being able to correctly predict the fake challenges every single time. Satthew again, that sort of creeping pressure on the kickoff. The half flip was almost good enough to keep that ball out of the net, but not quite. And Satthew in the lead again. Is it going to stay that way though? firstkiller knows he's got some space here, waiting for the bounce. The shot is good, and Satthew tried to close the distance. Was not quite able to do it. I think a double jump would have been sufficient, but he front flipped instead. Yeah, the double jump may have done the trick there, but of course he's afraid to double jump in case firstkiller does absolutely nothing and goes underneath him. The front flip was just a race to the ball. 22 seconds. Satthew looking to get the advantage once again. It has been Satthew with all the advantages, and that hook shot from close range is going to be enough. And we just have to see this one from firstkiller's POV. Where did it go wrong again? And that little fake challenge did absolutely nothing. And firstkiller, far too afraid of the far post shot, overcommits into the goal, can't get the save on the shot that was behind him. Sathew's kickoff really is quite masterful. He's adapted very well. After losing a couple at the start of the game, he really turned it around. There is a rush challenge, or a fake challenge again, but this time not no read from firstkiller. I mean, so with Satthew having the boost advantage here, firstkiller is in such a bad spot. That's a really difficult position to score from, or to gain any advantage from. The Vanderdy Showmatch, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right, hold on. I just had to refresh this tab. Something not loading over here. Okay, here we go. Game 2. I really think if Satthew wins this one, it's all over for poor firstkiller. He's going to be looking at 7 in a row. Jesse, how many keys are you going to fat finger while you're trying to spell my name? There you go. Firstkiller's slowing down his kickoff even more than Satthew. That would be really an interesting little mini game to keep our eyes on. If both these guys are trying to do slow kickoffs, blocking style kickoffs, it becomes a battle of who can do it slower. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the long range flick with all the power you could ever want. It looks like the ball's falling off the front of his car, but he's able to generate so much power. Firstkiller saying in the chat, how do you get so much power? I mean, I'd like to know as well. That is incredible from Satthew. That was what was missing pretty much the entirety of last game. There's the little game of chicken in the midfield. Neither player really coming out on top too much. It's a fairly even position here. Firstkiller has done well to racer in the field, but Satthew stayed with him. And is he going to be rewarded for that with another chance? Doesn't quite have the boost, but he's been able to trip up firstkiller's landing. A 2-0 Satthew, who, of course, recently beat Jacob on stream. He's looking to start a wee winning streak here. And he has been impressing me an awful lot recently, only losing the 12 Titans qualifier by 1 goal against the eventual winner, Sharif. And of course, Satthew had an open net in that match in overtime. Oh, Satthew again with the tripping up maneuvers. Oh, it gets demoed for his trouble though. That is quite a weird interaction that we just saw. I'm not sure if I've ever seen that one before. The carry from Satthew. firstkiller didn't really panic. He didn't flip off, didn't jump. He just sat on top of Satthew. Thought, okay, this is fine. I mean, I'm not getting scored on anytime soon. I might not be, you know, ideally placed with all 4 wheels not touching the ground, but he just rolled with it, and it worked out for him. 1-2 though is not a position he wants to be in. Satthew has missed an open net that he really should have been scored in. My nose is so itchy. You guys have to understand that when my nose is itchy, it's like, have you ever been itchy in multiple places on your body simultaneously? Like, you know, you just have all over your body itch. Well, consider that how much of my body, or my body's total mass and surface area is actually my nose, and then that'll help you understand the sort of trouble that I'm going through when my nose is itchy. Oh, good bump by Satthew. That's reminiscent of the Firewall goal that won him the series against firstkiller, and he is going to be rewarded with a counter-attack goal. Well played. He knew the only way that he could stop firstkiller from scoring is slapping him from behind. And firstkiller did not see it coming. He was not able to jump over the challenge. He is really in a lot of trouble here. Is he going to have the belief in his own ability to win this match if he goes 2 games down? We've seen so many comebacks against him. It's going to be so much harder, therefore, for him to make a comeback of his own. I mean, this entire series would be considered a comeback if he's able to win it. Satthew again in the flick position. He's ready to launch. Straight down the middle is still good enough. And again, I have to say, firstkiller, fake challenge is just not working. Satthew knows you're going to turn around. He knows that you prefer to shadow and react to plays. So when you're coming forward, Satthew knows that there's a high percentage chance you're just going to turn around and go back to goal, and he's not falling for these fake challenges at all. It's high time for firstkiller to just rush in and go for a YOLO challenge. Just to switch it up. Just to make Satthew second guess himself in future contest situations. It needs to happen for firstkiller, or else he's going to really struggle to defend against Satthew from here on. I mean, he's done quite a good job up until now, but it's getting worse. Low 50-50 is good though from first. Satthew didn't actually have a bad 50-50 here himself. This just shows how good of a challenge firstkiller was able to get, because that's not terrible. Satthew didn't really go super high over that ball, just went a little bit too high, and firstkiller predicted that perfectly. Dropped the ball under him. Still that 2-goal gap remains. Firstkiller conceding the 4th earlier. He's a player that really exploded onto the scene. Good bump. Is he going to get his revenge here? This would be the perfect revenge for the goal that he conceded earlier, and he is going to get it just fast enough to escape Sathew's recovery. Good bump. It was with aggression and confidence that firstkiller did well on the stream initially. The 2 series that he was able to win and really catch a lot of people's attention. A lot of people were comparing his playstyle, myself included, to OG Scrubkiller, but he's just counter-punching, sitting in goal, saving everything, getting insane power shots.
Having a good Christmas and New Year.
Ray Chow, thanks for the 18 months. I appreciate that, and I hope you're having a good day and good Christmas as well. Welcome back, man. I want to make a further analogy between First and Scrubkiller though. If we think about Scrubkiller's 1v1 career as a whole, does he still sit in goal all the time? The answer to that question is no. Does he heavily rely on just power shots in offense? Again, the answer is no. Scrubkiller has diversified his play both offensively and defensively more than just about anyone else in the world, I would say. He is incredibly diverse in attack, and defensively he mixes it up very, very well. He's so good at challenging early and shadowing if he has to. He's just an exceptional all-around player. And that is the same thing that firstkiller needs to do if he wants to have a more consistent win rate against other top players. Because when he sits back and does this all the time, when he refuses to challenge, when he just fakes every single challenge and runs into a smart player like Satthew, then Satthew will counter that. And what is the counter to a fake challenge? It's doing absolutely nothing, just like gaining that territorial advantage by driving forward. Satthew himself has mixed his own defense up pretty masterfully once again. Firstkiller not able to get the ball over the top of this challenge, and that might just be the end of this game unless Satthew can, or Firstkiller can get a kickoff goal here, or at least establish a solid kickoff possession. This is a very good one. This is about as good as he could have hoped for. He's going to bounce it, look for the power shot, goes for the mind game instead. Great mix up from Firstkiller. He did exactly what was needed of him. Great mind game there. Satthew getting completely taken out of the game from first, and he's given himself a great chance because, as we all know, kickoffs are the most volatile state in Rocket League, especially in 1v1, with people being or players being so low on boost. Here we go again. Firstkiller, another possession. What's it going to be? He's just going to go for the demo, and he gets it. He has taken his opportunities into his own hands, but he's not able to get the power shot. I like the strategy. Execution wasn't there, but Firstkiller, credit to him for at least making a go of it. What was a really tough comeback. He's not going to be successful, but that was about as close as he could have made it. Getting 3 goals past Satthew in the final 30 seconds is never going to be easy, because Sathew's kickoff is really, really good. What Sathew's kickoff does very well. Firstkiller's just going to be BRB. He's just getting another car probably. What Sathew's kickoff does really well is, even though he doesn't score tons and tons of kickoff goals a game, he scores maybe a couple. His kickoff is very good at not conceding kickoff goals, and it's quite stable. It's kind of like Lethamir's kickoff in that regard. Although, like, it's no kickoff is invincible. I'm not going to say it's you can't score kickoff goals against this. Of course you can, if the stars align, but it is not likely. It's a pretty safe style. And now Firstkiller has the hardest task, and still I think the same primary objective here. Challenge earlier. You need to mix it up, because this last minute defending, all these critical saves, although incredible, are just being too heavily relied on. Firstkiller knows that that's one of his strengths, but he can't over rely on it. And he doesn't dodge close range. I like that from First. He's just sticking around, but on the ground. He doesn't want to dodge and then get taken out of the game by an unlucky landing. So I think I'm able to save about 50 boosts here. That's impressive management. Still very much in control of his own destiny here. Firstkiller refusing to challenge once again, and once again gets punished. We all know at this point, Satthew, he knows he has all the time in the world. Firstkiller's he's near to the ball there, but Satthew knows the challenge isn't going to come. Firstkiller's just going to back off, and I don't know if it's Firstkiller's stance for this game, this series, if he's just decided that he's going to try and beat Satthew with only reactive defending. I don't know what his strategy is here, or if this is just a conscious decision that he's made. But as far as I'm concerned, he needs to mix up his defense better than he is, making it very difficult on himself. Even the best goalie in the world, Cuxer, has had to change it up when he's faced with exceptional dribblers. And there we go. This time Firstkiller able to close the distance. Doesn't have to defend against a shot because he managed to put the challenge in early, and he does it again. This is really refreshing to see, because now we might have a series in our hands. Satthew not able to come out on top in this play, and that is exactly what Firstkiller needed to do. He did what was required of him. Closed the distance, not once but twice in a row, and Satthew tastes the revenge of a 12-year-old Rocket League prodigy. And now that is so huge for not just... he's got more than just a goal from that challenge. That challenge has got Satthew second-guessing every single dribble in the rest of this game. Satthew now has to think every time he's dribbling, hold on, is Firstkiller going to do that rush challenge again? It worked pretty well last time. So that one moment could redefine this entire series. If Firstkiller is able to win, then I will look back at that one point and say that's where he won the series, equalizing in game 3. Takes the lead in game 3 now. Firstkiller saying he thought Satthew was a bit unlucky in that 50-50. Although it looked fair enough to me. Satthew was coming in sideways. Firstkiller was goal side, so you usually expect the goal side player to come out on top the majority of the time. Not all the time, but just certainly the majority of the time. Firstkiller is going to back off this time. Satthew trying to counter what he might have been trying to read another Firstkiller early aggression play, and it just didn't happen. It's very interesting now. Firstkiller with a huge cut. Takes Satthew out of the game, but not able to score just yet. Hold on, he's now able to score. Satthew gives him a nice shot for this play. It doesn't look like much, but this bump was so smart from Firstkiller. He not only bumped Satthew away from the play, but he used it to propel himself in the direction he needed to go. Not sure if he was intending that second aspect of the interaction, but if he did, that is incredible. That was a really, really smart play. And he gets another bump onto Satthew. Open net, 4-1 Firstkiller. What a turnaround we have just seen. He still has a long way to go before he crosses the finish line in game 3, but he is firmly in the lead. He is at least half a bend ahead of Satthew as they approach the straight on the far side. More kickoff possession for Firstkiller. Played this one fast off the wall, and he should have scored. Bar down and out is going to be the result, though. Should have put that one in. That was his strong suit. Shot from close range. And this time he's successfully able to read Sathew's dribble. Maybe going for another bump there. Decides better of it. And he's used an awful lot of boost to achieve not much. And Satthew is going to flick to punish him at the near post. And it's just so difficult for Firstkiller. You can see him driving around like a maniac, trying to get Satthew to blink. He's like, he's pretty much holding up his fist and fake punching Satthew. And Satthew just is there, not blinking, not flinching. And then when Firstkiller is done running around, he just flicks it in the top corner. 5-2 Firstkiller. Kickoffs are being dominated by the youngster now. Satthew not coming in goal side from that challenge. That's a bit uncharacteristic of him, or as Jesse would say, uncharacteristic. Sorry for all of you who don't know about that meme. It's a juicy one for sure. Oh, Firstkiller denied the boost steal. It looked very, very touch and go there. Still though, Firstkiller in the lead. Satthew closes the gap just a little bit. So Firstkiller, he was running up the wall here to get away from a demo, but he might have been pit maneuvered there. I'm not sure why he went so high up the wall. He intended to get the ball and his own car to safety. There might have been a little bit of tomfoolery from Satthew to steer him in the wrong direction. Oh, the pump fake from Firstkiller is going to give him the open net, and this time he doesn't fail to find the target. Absolutely his game to lose at this point. He took the 3-goal lead first of all with over half the game to go. A minute later he still got the 3-goal lead, so so far so good. He's doing well. The long road ahead of him as far as the series goes has got to be a little bit daunting. I'm sure he really, really badly wants to win this. Here comes off the ceiling, dodges by accident, and no idea why he jumped at all there, and he's not able to get back in time to save it. This jump made no sense, even if he was just trying to jump down. I think what probably happened there is he thought that his wheels were still touching the ceiling, and he thought that if he jumped it would take him down towards the ball, and then he could use his dodge when he reached the ball. But his wheels weren't touching the ceiling, so the jump just turned into a dodge. It usually happens near your goal. Oh my goodness, Satthew with the most ridiculous accuracy on this. The fact that he's able to do this with such power and accuracy from the edge of the box is just brutal. It's almost undefendable. Firstkiller jumped so fast for it, and he still didn't get close. Didn't get a touch on it. Another kickoff goes Sathew's favour. Is he going to be able to get it on top of his car? Yes, he is, and that means one thing. Firstkiller, though, gets the save. What a save it was. And he's looking for the pads now. Gets a secondary save as well. 10 boosts in the bag this time. Satthew, did he catch the... Yeah, he did catch the corner boost respawning. Good timing by him. 37 seconds left. Satthew wants to sweep this. And he has Firstkiller exactly where he wants him. Firstkiller picked up the corner boost, but is it going to be enough? No, it's not. He has fallen once again to Sathew's reverse 45-degree flick. And I really wonder if he would have been better chasing Satthew down the line there, trying to disrupt his approach, because when you give Satthew the full pitch to dribble, are you ever going to come out on, are you ever going to be the favourite? I don't think so. I don't think firstkiller was the favourite there. Of course, he didn't have the boost in the first place, so he was already a bit the underdog. It's LitFan27 next to the 2 months, just as firstkiller retakes the lead. Oh, that was very cheeky by Satthew. An unforced error, no doubt about it. If he had just jumped or dodged there, the ball would have been safe, but he tried to scoop it into the corner without jumping, so he could grab the boost quicker. Concedes as a result of his carelessness. 17 seconds. Satthew misses the ball. That's got to be games. But oh my goodness, firstkiller misses the open net as well. Is he just stalling here? Is he wasting time? If he was, that was really smart. Not sure if he was intentionally missing this one. May have done. That was, good calculated play by firstkiller. I'm going to give him that. In hindsight, seeing as the way he dodged into the ball, or didn't dodge into the ball, did look deliberate, and this should be firstkiller on the board. Satthew not able to get his block kickoff working. It is going to be firstkiller's first game of the series, and he did really well. He switched up his defense for the first time in the whole series this game, and that was what made the difference. He did exactly what he needed to do. And remember that was him starting off a game 1-0 down. It's not like he had a lead and then switched up his defense. No, he fell behind by a goal, and then he made that one YOLO challenge, and with that momentum he was able to take a 4-1 lead, which never got closed. Satthew, though, still has the advantage, and I'm sure at some point, either this game or the next, Satthew will be able to garner a lead for himself. It's statistically likely, at least, with how these games have been going. Firstkiller starting off the game in his comfort zone, waiting on the goal line. Satthew, successful fake challenge, manages to get firstkiller to flip the ball. You can really learn a lot from top players in terms of fake challenging, because I know a lot of you guys come to my stream and you say, I'm struggling to defend against dribbles, what do I do? And it's very easy to just say, oh, just fake challenge, or actually challenge. Mix up your fake challenges and your real challenges. Don't just shadow all the time and do nothing. But learning how to be convincing, how to time your fake challenge to get your opponent to pop it, is a really big deal. Don't just fake challenge when your opponent isn't about to make a play on the ball, or doesn't even have the potential of making a play on the ball. Faking a challenge when the ball is still landing on top of their car, probably not going to do anything, because they're just waiting back for the ball to be secured in the first place. Satthew almost places it with perfection. Firstkiller, I believe, knew that wasn't going in. He's got a very good awareness of where his goal is. Rarely jumps for things that aren't in. Well, just I say it. Just I say it. But firstkiller is looking good here. As the dribble again, this time Sathew's able to close it, but it wasn't the cleanest challenge. That was not far away from being another firstkiller goal. Oh, firstkiller has faked himself. This wasn't even a play by Satthew. This is just firstkiller missing the ball. He probably didn't expect Satthew to stay there. Firstkiller probably expected Satthew to back off, and panicked when he saw him, tried to block a shot, but Satthew didn't hit it, so firstkiller kind of just faked himself there. And I've got to wonder, did he really, how surprised was he really that Satthew stayed there? Because sometimes 1v1 players, even at the highest level, it's more a hope than a prediction that your opponent will back off. You're like, oh, I really hope my opponent goes away and gets boost now, because that would be nice for me as well, because I want space. I want to be able to do something. I'm thinking of Scrub Killer especially here. He's always like, oh, just go get boost. And even if you think that they might, do you really believe that they will? I don't know if firstkiller did in that situation. It's a good shot by Satthew there. He spotted the opening. He realized if firstkiller goes for side boost here, I'm going to be scored in. Might as well give it a try. Worst case scenario, firstkiller intercepts my shot, and then I can grab the side boost. That's pretty good odds there. Oh, firstkiller gets the demo. He's looking for the block there. He's slow playing this bounce dribble. Very direct though. The volley is going to work again. Satthew a bit underneath the ball. He's trying to play the ball rather than the mind game from this position. It was going to be awkward. Satthew had two options there. One, grab some boosts and wait for firstkiller to make a play. Two, close the distance and hope the firstkiller doesn't react in time. Of course, trying to beat 12-year-old's reaction time, maybe not the best win condition in my opinion. That is one aspect of the game that the youngsters do have in their advantage. Good initial pop by firstkiller. The second touch is decent as well, but he needs more. Lands well. He's able to stop Sathew's momentum and retake control of the ball. Again, half the game gone. Firstkiller still very much in the series. Looking a lot better than he did in game 1 and 2 in terms of how much control he has. But Satthew is making this so difficult. Oh, he's missed a double open net though. Is he going to be able to recover? No, he's not. Firstkiller's got away with that. He got completely outplayed and removed from the game by Sathew's aggression. But Satthew panicked. He didn't need to rush that open net. He had a long time. He knew firstkiller was dead and respawning, and instead just went for the immediate rebound. I think he's got the second touch. He does in fact have the second touch. Excuse me here. It's a good play by Satthew. Firstkiller looking to be aggressive when Sathew's on the wall, because most of the plays that Sathew's made off the wall this series have been popping the ball off the wall, then just floating down with it. So firstkiller is trying to change up his defense there and gets caught in the act. So I've got to give Satthew some credit there for being ready to make that play and following through mechanically as well. It wasn't just a strategy they got on that one. Firstkiller slow playing this. Zero boost. Oh, he missed the 12 as well. That's not ideal. It's going to be very difficult to give himself enough space to get the 100 boost. He does just find enough time to get the 100. Satthew is sneaking in these demos masterfully. It looks like it could be luck, but I guarantee you Satthew meant that. Fully intended that play. Still a one-goal game. Satthew pops it high. Is he up for the rebound? No, in fact he's backed off. Firstkiller follows through well. But literally a minute left in the game. Firstkiller needs a goal or it is going to be all over. Satthew has taken him out of the game once again with the trip, denies the recovery, and he has the 2-goal lead. Firstkiller trying to catch Satthew off guard once again. I'm going to give him some credit. He is changing up his defense, but he's not in his comfort zone, so we're seeing some flaws start to creep in. That early aerial contest is not something that I'm used to seeing from him, and you can see that the hit he was able to get on the ball wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as it needed to be. 35 seconds. He was almost able to put 2 goals past Satthew in 35 seconds in the second game. He needs to do it right now. Good 50-50 by Satthew. He might have... No, he doesn't actually have enough boost to force a shot. Firstkiller has to score with this attacker. It might be over. Satthew closing the distance. That is going to waste even more time. He is really closing out this game very well. Firstkiller from the ground drops the ball. That might be game. He so badly needed to keep that ball bouncing, but the wall shot still open. Not on target though. It's now or never, and Satthew is playing the clock like he needs to, and that is GG's. Firstkiller is not able to complete the comeback. I think he just waited a little bit too long to try and change up his defense. If we saw him switch up his defense in game 2, like he did in game 3, I think he would have taken game 2, and then maybe Satthew would have taken game 3 in the follow-up game, but that would give Firstkiller some more chances to adapt. He refused to adapt for a little bit too long there, I think. And Satthew's a good enough player that if you change up your play style, he's going to change up his to counter what you've changed. And I think that's what we saw in game 4 here. Satthew making some smart plays. Yeah, GG's to both of these guys. Firstkiller, despite being on a losing streak series-wise, is still bringing good plays to the table. He's certainly still a top 1v1 player in North America, no doubt about that. Just needs to get a little bit more diversity, I think, in his play, and he'll be able to take games off just about anyone. And remember that was him starting off a game 1-0 down. It's not like he had a lead and then switched up his defense. No, he fell behind by a goal, and then he made that one YOLO challenge, and with that momentum he was able to take a 4-1 lead, which never got closed. Satthew though still has the advantage, and I'm sure at some point, either this game or the next, Satthew will be able to garner a lead for himself. It's statistically likely, at least. with how these games have been going. Firstkiller starting off the game in his comfort zone, waiting on the goal line. Satthew, successful fake challenge, manages to get Firstkiller to flip the ball. You can really learn a lot from top players in terms of fake challenging, because I know a lot of you guys come to my stream and you say, I'm struggling to defend against dribbles, what do I do? And it's very easy to just say, oh, just fake challenge. Or actually challenge. You know, mix up your fake challenges and your real challenges. Don't just shadow all the time and do nothing. But learning how to be convincing, how to time your fake challenge to get your opponent to pop it is a really big deal. Don't just fake challenge when your opponent isn't about to make a play on the ball, or doesn't even have the potential of making a play on the ball. Faking a challenge when the ball is still landing on top of their car, probably not going to do anything, because they're just waiting back for the ball to be secured in the first place. Satthew almost places it with perfection. Firstkiller, I believe, knew that wasn't going in. He's got a very good awareness of where his goal is. Rarely jumps for things that aren't in. Well, just as I say it. Just as I say it. But Firstkiller is looking good here. As the dribble again, this time Sathew's able to close it, but it wasn't the cleanest challenge. That was not far away from being another Firstkiller goal. Oh, Firstkiller has faked himself. This wasn't even a play by Satthew. This is just Firstkiller missing the ball. He probably didn't expect Satthew to stay there. Firstkiller probably expected Satthew to back off. And panicked when he saw him, tried to block a shot, but Satthew didn't hit it. So Firstkiller kind of just faked himself there. And I've got to wonder, like, did he really, how surprised was he really that Satthew stayed there? Because sometimes 1v1 players, even at the highest level, it's more a hope than a prediction that your opponent will back off. You're like, oh, I really hope my opponent goes away and gets boost now, because that would be nice for me as well, because I want space. I want to be able to do something. I'm thinking of Scrub Killer especially here. He's always like, oh, just go get boost. You know? And even if you think that they might, do you really believe that they will? I don't know if Firstkiller did in that situation. It's a good shot by Satthew there. He spotted the opening. He realized if Firstkiller goes for side boost here, I'm going to be scored in. Might as well give it a try. Worst case scenario, Firstkiller intercepts my shot and then I can grab the side boost. That's a pretty good odds there. Oh, Firstkiller gets the demo. He's looking for a block there. He's slow playing this bounce dribble. Very direct though. The volley is going to work again. Satthew a bit underneath the ball. He's trying to play the ball rather than the mind game from this position. It was going to be awkward. Satthew had two options there. One, grab some boosts and wait for Firstkiller to make a play. Two, close the distance and hope the Firstkiller doesn't react in time. Of course, trying to beat 12-year-old's reaction time, maybe not the best win condition in my opinion. That is one aspect of the game that the youngsters do have in their advantage. Good initial pop by Firstkiller. The second touch is decent as well, but he needs more. Lands well. He's able to stop Sathew's momentum and retake control of the ball. Again, half the game gone. Firstkiller still very much in the series. Looking a lot better than he did in game 1 and 2 in terms of how much control he has. But Satthew is making this so difficult. Oh, he's missed a double open net though. Is he going to be able to recover? No, he's not. Firstkiller's got away with that. He got completely outplayed and removed from the game by Sathew's aggression. But Satthew panicked. He didn't need to rush that open net. He had a long time. He knew Firstkiller was dead and respawning, and instead just went for the immediate rebound. I think he's got the second touch. He does in fact have the second touch. Excuse me here. It's a good play by Satthew. Firstkiller looking to be aggressive when Sathew's on the wall, because most of the plays that Sathew's made off the wall this series have been popping the ball off the wall, then just floating down with it. So Firstkiller is trying to change up his defense there and gets caught in the act. So I've got to give Satthew some credit there for being ready to make that play and following through mechanically as well. It wasn't just a strategy they got on that one. Firstkiller slow playing this. Zero boost. Oh, he missed the 12 as well. That's not ideal. It's going to be very difficult to give himself enough space to get the 100 boost. He does just find enough time to get the 100. Satthew is sneaking in these demos masterfully. It looks like it could be luck, but I guarantee you Satthew meant that. Fully intended that play. Still a 1-goal game. Satthew pops it high. Is he up for the rebound? No, in fact, he's backed off. Firstkiller follows through well. But literally a minute left in the game. Firstkiller needs a goal, or it is going to be all over. Satthew has taken him out of the game once again with the trip, denies the recovery, and he has the 2-goal lead. Firstkiller trying to catch Satthew off guard once again. I'm going to give him some credit. He is changing up his defense, but he's not in his comfort zone, so we're seeing some flaws start to creep in. That early aerial contest is not something that I'm used to seeing from him, and we can see that the hit that he was able to get on the ball wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as it needed to be. 35 seconds. He was almost able to put 2 goals past Satthew in 35 seconds in the second game. He needs to do it right now. Good 50-50 by Satthew. He might have... No, he doesn't actually have enough boost to force a shot. Firstkiller has to score with this attacker. It might be over. Satthew closing the distance. That is going to waste even more time. He is really closing out this game very well. Firstkiller from the ground drops the ball. That might be game. He so badly needed to keep that ball bouncing, but the wall shot still open. Not on target though. It's now or never, and Satthew is playing the clock like he needs to, and that is GG's. Firstkiller is not able to complete the comeback. I think he just waited a little bit too long to try and change up his defense. If we saw him switch up his defense in game 2, like he did in game 3, I think he would have taken game 2, and then maybe Satthew would have taken game 3 in the follow-up game, but that would give Firstkiller some more chances to adapt. He refused to adapt for a little bit too long there, I think. And Satthew's a good enough player that if you change up your play style, he's going to change up his to counter what you've changed. And I think that's what we saw in game 4 here. Satthew making some smart plays.